Hi, this is Pete, and I'm here this evening with Lucy Whittington of beingabusinesscelebrity.com. Lucy, are you there?
I am here, Pete.
Lucy, thanks for joining us. We only have a very short time together today, so without further ado, let's jump in. And can you give people 3 tips as to how to become a business celebrity?
Of course I can. So the first thing that's absolutely important is to remember that your personality is the key to your profits. So really make sure when you're telling people about what you do, it's about why you do what you do, and it's how you do what you do, and it's not just about what you do. Too many people just sell their tool or their service or their product without telling stories behind it. So my first absolute tip is absolutely always tell your story. On your website, when you meet people, in conversations, whenever you interact with people, tell the story about who and why you do what you do. That's my first tip.
Okay, so tell the story. People are interested in the backstory always. Next one.
And the second one is a way of remembering to do that is whenever anyone says to you, oh, what's your USP, what's your unique selling point, is to flip that around to be a PSP, which is a personality selling point. Always remember it's about you and how you do it, rather than something that you've thought really hard about and tried to be really clever with and come up with it. Because often that comes across as either cliched or too clever or over thought out, and it just doesn't ring authentically to people. They just want to understand why you do it differently. Even if there's thousands of other people that do or sell what you do, they want to know about you.
That's brilliant, because that means effectively you're taking yourself out of a commodity market, aren't you? Because nobody's going to have the same personality as you.
Exactly. It's the easiest way to become unique. You know, people spend a lot of time, money and effort, thinking really, really hard to come up with something unique, and they're actually sitting with it all the time. It's them. So simple. Makes life a lot easier.
Well, it's always better to do things which is simple, isn't it?
It is.
So your PSP, to summarise.
PSP, okay. Yeah. Always think about your personality selling point instead of a USP, because it is one. And okay. My third tip, which is my juiciest marketing tool, is to come up with a fame name. And a fame name is a personal headline. Now, you can actually use this as the name of your business if you want, or the name of a product or a service, or you can make it a name about you. So this would be something like Mary Portas is Queen of Shops. Jamie Oliver is the Naked Chef. You've got Super Nanny. Some people might know Jason Bell, the Juice Master. Anyone who has a personal headline. If you can come up with a way of describing what you do that gets across the transformation and the results you give to people and who you do it for, you get remembered so much better, which means you'll get found online easier. It means you'll get, people will go, oh, you need to speak to so-and-so, and they'll say your fame name, because of the way our brains work. There's a principle in psychology called the Baker-Baker paradox, and people will remember that someone is a baker way more than they'll remember that their name is, say, Mr. John Baker. And I'm sure you've had those times where you know what someone does, but you can't always place their name. Well, this plays to that principle, and it means you get remembered. And, of course, that's what people are going to type into Google. And so that is how you can get noticed.
That's brilliant, because that means that if you've got a good fame name, a unique fame name, then it's going to be really easy for people to find you on Google and on social media, because there's far less competition, isn't there?
Absolutely, and it gets across straight away who you are, and it allows you to stand out, because one element of working out your fame name is the positioner. So that'll be a word like, queen of, guru, even the. If you're the something, then it stands to reason you're the go-to person or the expert in what you do. So you have this positioner word that fits your personality and fits your market, and people respond to. It can be something as frivolous as, the fairy godmother, through to something serious as, just expert, and you become that person. It instantly tells people who you are in your market. And like you say, no one can compete with that, because you now stand out. Why would anyone go to just someone who can do that when they can go to the person who does it?
The person, exactly.
Correct.
Okay, well, we're coming towards the end of our time now, and I know you've been using Buzz Conferencing to help you get the word out. Would you just like to spend a few moments and tell people how you've been doing that, in case they'd like to do a similar strategy?
Sure. Well, I use Buzz for 2 purposes. One is in my marketing, so I'll host free teleseminars, which are like online classes, you can just, call in and listen to the audio live or get the recording straight away, which is what I love about Buzz, because other services I've used before, you didn't get your MP3 immediately. You had to wait for it. So I can host free trainings for people.
Of course.
Yes, and free. So I can host free trainings for people to attract attention to what I do and to educate them. And I also use Buzz when I work with people. So I host group calls and I do mentoring one-to-one, and I can record everything really simply. I'm not overly technical, but I do know how to use a telephone, and so do all my clients. So I don't ever have to worry about technology issues. It's like, please dial this number and talk, and you'll get an MP3 recording of our conversation, which people love, because sometimes when, I'm doing my thing and working out people's fame names or helping them with their story, it's a flow conversation, and you want to be able to listen back to the recording to take notes and do it again. So I love having a simple system to record my work.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for sharing those tips, and thank you for being such an advocate of Buzz. I mean, we love it, but then, of course, we would say that. Before we finally close the call, do you just want to shout out your URL and how people can get in contact with you if they want to hear a little bit more about their being a business celebrity activities?
Of course, just head over to beingabusinesscelebrity.com, and you can actually grab a free guide to the 5 steps to being a business celebrity and some more info on how to work out your own fame name there, all for free. So just go and grab that from the website. I would love to give that to you.
Wonderful. Lucy, thanks very much for your time.
You're very welcome, Pete.